What's up, guys? It's Coach Gaglione here. It's another edition of the Powerlifting for the People podcast. And today we're talking about at-home workouts. So there's been a little bit, not sure, depending on where you're listening from, this may affect you more or less. But barring that everything that's been going on in the news, it's very possible you're listening to this and your gym may be closed or shut down for the foreseeable future. So that being said, I always want to focus on what we can control, not what we can't. So what we're going to do in this particular episode, and as well as a lot of our content on YouTube and Instagram, we're going to be dedicated to be delivering you guys at-home workouts in the event that your gym is closed and you're not able to go to a physical gym. There is a lot you can do in terms of strength, in terms of muscle building, with no equipment or minimal equipment. Obviously, if you have access to a home gym, that's ideal. But if you do not, obviously there's a lot you can do with your body weight. So that's going to be your number one tool, is going to be your body weight. And then there's some other options, some things I do recommend you pick up. You can get some bands from Elite FTS or any of these other companies. A lot of these things you can get on Amazon. An Iron Gym, which will give you access to a pull-up bar that attaches to your door, or any of these other devices. There's many brands. The Iron Gym is just one that comes to mind. That's also going to give you some options to use as an anchor point for bands, as well as an anchor point for if you use something like a TRX, which will give you options for like rowing and other exercises as well. The TRX is definitely lower on my list. I think the bands and the Iron Gym are definitely higher on my list. And then something like a hip circle, a slingshot can be very valuable for both upper and lower body training, as well as furniture movers. So I wanted to just kind of give you guys some ideas on some equipment. So I would definitely purchase some bands, if nothing else. And then my next, so bands would be number one. I would get all different sizes, and I would get probably 1 to 2 micro mini bands. And I would definitely get, 2 mini bands and 2 monster mini bands. And then you can get like 1 to 2 light bands, and then maybe one average and 1 strong band. So I'd get at least a set of everything, at least one of everything, and maybe 2 of like the smaller ones if you want to do like kind of fly and kind of pressing type movements or tricep type movements. The Iron Gym would be my next thing, so you could have an anchor point for your bands as well. So you could have high and low, high, kind of a cable attachment or band attachment options for sure. Furniture movers would be something lower on the list as well, but they're very cheap, so I just recommend just getting a pair of furniture movers. You can do a lot of ab work with them. It's going to make planks more challenging, and you can do ab rollouts and things like that. And then I definitely recommend, high up on my list is definitely like a hip circle as well. And if you are struggling to do push-ups, a slingshot or a slingshot push-up is a good option as well. So you can get bands from EliteFTS.com, or you could just search bands on Amazon. You want to get really heavy-duty ones, like the old jump stretch ones, for example. Iron Gym you can get on Amazon as well. Furniture movers you can get on Amazon as well, or like Home Depot. And the hip circle you can get on Mark Bell Slingshot or HowMuchYouBench.net. TRX would be further down the list, but if you can't do a lot of pull-ups, then the TRX is a good option for bodyweight rows. And there's also some great things you could do on a playground. I'll include an article for playground workouts as well in the description. So some considerations during this time is, number one, strength takes a long time to build. It also takes a long time to dissipate. So I don't want you to panic, number one. So number one is just get some movement in every single day. It could be 3 10-minute walks. It could be a hike uphill. It could be a number of different things. But number one, start your day with some sort of movement, some sort of daily activity, maybe some light yoga practice that could be beneficial, but just get moving. In terms of organizing your workouts, I recommend full body workouts when you don't have, because these movements are going to be lower on the stress index. You're not loading your spine. You're not providing a lot of compression on the spine or shear on the spine. It's going to be mostly body weight bands, and bands have no inertia, so they're very easy to recover from. In general, I want to do something for your legs, so some sort of squatting motion or split squat or single leg motion, something that's going to work more at the front of your legs or your quads. Is going to be beneficial. A pushing type motion that's going to work more your chest, shoulders, and triceps. So it's some sort of push-up variation. Or some sort of banded fly, press, etc. A hinging variation, which is going to include your glute bridges, your good morning, and your kind of deadlift variations with a band. That's going to be very beneficial. All your pulling variations, all your rowing, your hinge is going to work your glutes and hamstrings, more the back of your leg. Your pulling variation is going to work more of your upper back, your bicep, and all the muscles of your lats. And do something for your core, a lot of planks, a lot of stability work, a lot of sit-up type work is going to be good for your abdominals. So that's going to be 5 movements that you could do that's going to work your entire body, head to toe. Some other considerations with all these movements, especially if you don't have you're not going to have a lot of means to load yourself. So your rep ranges are typically going to be higher. So I would recommend somewhere between 3 to 5 sets of somewhere, on the low end, if the exercises are challenging, 6 to 8, but probably closer to 8. So on the low end, 8 and upwards of 10, 12, 15, even 20 or 25 total repetitions as you get stronger. Some exercises are going to lend itself more towards higher reps, and others are going to lend yourself more to lower reps. But in general, when you're doing banded and bodyweight workouts, you're going to tend more toward the higher rep range. You also want to consider increasing training density and decreasing rest time during this time. That's going to be really important. You want to utilize methods like tempo and pausing, so lowering yourself slowly for a 3 to 5 count, pausing in the bottom or at the top for a 3 to 5 count to hold the contractions a little bit longer to make the exercise a little bit more challenging, increase your time under tension, and limit the amount of reps you need to do to quote-unquote feel the burn or feel the muscles being stimulated. Nutrition and sleep and stress management is also going to be critical during this time. So it's really important that we're getting, multiple sleep cycles. So anywhere from 7.5 to 9 hours of sleep per night is going to be key. So your immune system is strong. Stress management, so you're practicing your deep breathing, maybe some yoga practice, maybe some parasympathetic box breathing through the nose. You can look up some older episodes with that. And as well as good nutrition, so getting 1 gram per pound of body weight in protein is going to be really beneficial. Limiting your, processed foods, only having carbohydrates around your training time, and making sure you're drinking plenty of water, anywhere from 3 to 4 liters, depending on your body size, and making sure you have enough electrolytes as well. So at Gaglione Strength, we're going to be dedicated to giving you the best information for at-home workouts during this tough time in the event your gyms are closed. This is not an excuse to throw your hands up and quit. One of the other things I want to kind of leave you guys with, I heard from Mark Bell recently, anxiety is fear of something that has not happened. Anxiety is fear of something that hasn't happened. Let's be rational about this. Let's just be proactive and think about this logically and not make any rash decisions. I think it's really important that you continue on your fitness journey and not throw your hands up. Continue to work with your coaches. There's definitely plenty that you guys could do during this tough time to maintain your strength. Stay positive. Focus on what you can control, not what you can't. Do what you can, and let's continue to forge forward together. If this podcast helped you, please give it a 5-star review. It helps other people find us. Check out the links in the description for more information on how to get some of these items to help with your training. And we'll be on the lookout. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Gaglione Strength, and at Gaglione Strength on Instagram for more at-home training tips during this tough time. Thank you guys so much for listening, and until next time, stay strong. We'll see you soon.